We've been together for almost 20 years now. And we've had a lot of great times together, but we've also had a lot of lows. And one of our lowest points in our life was whenever our son, Noah, who then was 2 weeks old, was diagnosed with GBS meningitis, which is a bacterial meningitis.
Being a man, I wanted a son. And God gave us a son that was just an ounce shy of 9 pounds. He was healthy when he was born. We took him home. And just overnight, from going to sleep at 10 p.m., perfect, good, no complications, no sickness, no nothing. Waking up in the morning at 104-degree fever, we took him immediately to Children's Hospital, and we got there at 7 in the morning. By 10 in the morning, he was already on a ventilator and had slipped into a coma. And at that time, it's whenever our state of panic started, but we just didn't know how to handle that state of panic because it was all surreal for us.
I recall seeing them placing ice packs all over his body to regulate his heart because his heartbeat was just off the charts, and we didn't know if he was going to survive or not. And honestly, we had a group of doctors tell us, they took us to a conference room, and whenever I envision a conference room, I can recall like movies that we've watched, and typically inside of a conference room, it's to tell you bad news. And so I remember them sitting us down and telling us that they think that Noah would not be surviving the night. Both Brian and I, we grew up believing in God, but never having a relationship with him. We would go to church on Sundays, and honestly, it was just a routine. It wasn't until we were in that place of hopelessness in our world, in the flesh, that we knew that we had no control over the situation and we had to give it over to God. However, the Lord did bring many people into our path there at the hospital that were speaking words of life over Noah. And that's where we were encouraged to plant that seed of faith, and to plant that seed of faith in God and to see what he can do with that. Well, I had a dream, and in my dream, I was told that I should seek and pray to God, but also ask for God's archangels to come and watch over Noah. And I had no idea who the archangels were. But when I woke up, I had dozed off, and when I opened my eyes around Noah's crib where he was at, there was 3 big silhouettes around him, and they were huddled over his crib. And I had to close my eyes like hard and then reopen them to see if that's really what I had seen. And maybe about 15 or 20 minutes later, I had received a phone call from one of my nieces, and she was checking in on Noah, and she had told me like, hey, how come you don't pray to the archangels for them to come and protect Noah? So it was a confirmation of what God had already showed me. And so we knew that God was covering Noah, that he was protecting him, and he was taking care of him.
So I was sitting with Noah, and I was just reading a book, listening to music, and Noah had opened his eyes for a couple of seconds, in which I was surprised because he hadn't done that for a while, and no movement or anything like that, but it was just a sudden open his eyes and then closed them. Mercedes had came in, and I had told her about it, and she just couldn't believe it. Then Noah again opened his eyes for a little bit longer, and we were able to see him. Noah opening his eyes gave us the confirmation that we were seeking from God, that he was going to allow him to stay with us, but also that we trusted God in however which way Noah was going to be left here on earth, that we were going to love him and love God and not be angry at God. From that point to now, Noah has defied all the odds that the doctors had said. He's able to eat on his own. He's able to see us. He's able to distinguish us. He knows who dad and mom is. He is able to breathe on his own. He's able to hear us perfectly. He's able to walk. He knows his ABCs from A to Z in English and in Spanish as well. His colors, he knows them in English and in Spanish as well. So he's becoming bilingual just as his parents are. Through this whole experience, in a couple months after we got out of the hospital, myself, my wife, and my 2 daughters gave our lives to Christ. And we were baptized here at Christ Church in the year of 2017. From that point on, we have seen God move tremendously in our lives. We give all the glory to Him. My name is Brian Arvizu.
My name is Mercedes Arvizu. And
this is our story.